Back here in New York, Donald Trump's legal problems do not end with today's historic arraignment. The former president faces a host of other legal challenges that could tie him up in court for years, in addition to DA Bragg's indictment. There are two federal investigations underway, one into January 6th, the other into the handling of Trump's handling of classified documents. And in Georgia, a grand jury is investigating whether to indict former President Trump on efforts to overturn the 2020 election. And in New York, the Attorney General has launched a civil suit over Trump's business dealings. And also, there are two defamation lawsuits pending against the former president. Trump has denied all wrongdoing in all these cases, but each one still poses potentially serious problems for the former president, especially as he makes another run for the White House. To help break it all down, we're joined by Law and Crime Network host and NewsNation legal contributor Jesse Weber. Jesse, all along we've been hearing that this case down in Fulton County, Georgia, and this case that Jack Smith, special counsel with the Justice Department, is investigating into January 6th, and the documents obstruction case are much more serious. The issues at stake are certainly much more serious.
I agree 100%. So if we start off in Georgia, for instance, we're hearing ideas that it could possibly conspiracy charges or racketeering charges. And when you look at the evidence there, you have a grand jury who has already submitted a report, who's already indicated
conspiracy to overturn the election.
Correct. And they've already issued a report that says that they believe multiple people should be indicted. We don't know if it's Donald Trump per se. And now that's going to be up to District Attorney from Fulton County, Fani Willis, about whether or not to submit that report to a grand jury and return back an indictment.
Right. To clarify, it was a special grand jury
Correct.
that issued a recommendation for indictments against many people.
Georgia's a little different like
right.
that.
And then it goes to a regular grand jury.
Yeah. If they want to ultimately go forward with charges. And by the way, when you look at the evidence there, the idea there is President Trump was trying to pressure Georgia officials to overturn the election.
We've all heard the phone call.
But there's now another phone call that this grand jury heard about, which we don't know too much about. And then there's this fake elector scheme, this scheme to ultimately institute fake electors to the Georgia Capitol that would have essentially refused to have Joe Biden be the president. I mean, that's a really interesting scheme there, but also at the same time, it seems to be backed up by evidence. So Georgia's something to look out for. Then you'd mention Jack Smith, who's overseeing two different probes. I think the documents investigation in particular, the obstruction component, is the thing to look out for. And what was the biggest development that happened in the last couple of weeks? Evan Corcoran, Donald Trump's attorney, has been ordered to provide testimony under something called the crime fraud exception to the attorney-client privilege, basically saying the judge feels that a crime was committed and their conversations are no longer privileged. That is very, very rare for that to happen and significant. So I think those are the things to look out for.
It seemed that both Fani Willis, who was in front of microphones, or in court, I think, arguing to keep everything under seal, saying, quote, indictments are imminent or action is imminent. And Jack Smith, the special prosecutor, who was certainly moving fast with his issuing of subpoenas, it looked like both of those investigations were moving much faster. How soon might we expect to see something happen?
Well, look, we don't know if they have more information that they want to elicit. We don't know what degree they're at. I will tell you right now, when it comes to Georgia, Trump's team has filed a motion to quash the grand jury report. It's still being decided what will happen there. Jack Smith and Fani Willis, but Jack Smith in particular is a very capable prosecutor.
Yeah.
And this is somebody who was brought in as a special counsel for a reason. And I really think there's something to look out for there because I will tell you the January 6th probe is a little bit more nebulous. We don't know what potential charges are there. It's really the documents one that seems to be relatively straightforward.
And if you believe reports, there are many close to Trump and his inner circle that are most concerned about that documents case. All right, stand by, Jesse.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.